Guys, welcome back. So after this election, Kirby, everyone's going crazy. I thought we were gonna have the second civil war of the United States. That didn't happen. So there are people at work, and I'm gonna try to be unbiased in this video. But there's one side saying, well, look at where the stock market is today. Look how successful it is. Look at, unemployment right now. Look at inflation right now. All these numbers, gas prices in certain states. The economy is good. And then one side is saying, it's going to get even better. And then some are saying, well, it's going to get worse. So the stock market, as we know, is all speculation. It's not a reflection of the economy. Are these numbers that maybe we're seeing today, are they fake because of what we've been speaking of? People didn't have to worry about paying back student loans in these times. People didn't have to pay back rent for sometimes. All this forbearance, allowing people to have more money, could stimulate the economy, which in result could inflate the stock market. So with this, are these numbers real, or is there more to it that people should be aware of when investing? Does a president even have a direct result or a direct impact to the economy itself or the stock market?
Yes and yes. First off, let's break this down because you said a mouthful there. The first thing, people fail to remember history. That's that's really what it is. When is the stock market numbers real? The price is there, so it is real. So it's real. Do that mean that the stock market is about to rally another, 2,000 points on the S&P 500? I don't know. But a president in general, they can affect what speculators, because as you said, the stock market is not the economy. They're speculating on the future value of companies. So a president can affect people investment thesis. I mean, uh, President Biden, who's in office right now, you know, and even the Democratic Party itself, they're heavy on regulation. They believe that the government should regulate, the government should have their hands on a lot of stuff. So, of course, regulations cost businesses more money. The Democratic Party believe that business should pay more taxes. And then again, if you remember history, even with the previous tax before the tax cut came, I believe the corporate tax rate was at 29%. What was it? Do you
Yeah, I
know?
believe so. I believe it was.
Let
Or
me look it up now.
29 or 28.
So even when the corporate tax rate was at 28%, right? 28, 29%. A lot of companies was just leaving their money offshore. It was not coming back to the IRS's tax reserves, coming in as tax revenue for the IRS, because companies like the Apples, the Googles of the world, and a lot of these other companies that's in the United States, they would just put their IPs offshore, and then they would just leave their money offshore so the U.S. government can tax it. With Trump bringing the tax rate down to 21%, from the time he brought it down to 21%, this is the most tax revenue that the United States, total number of revenue that the United States has ever received from corporate entities. More companies onshore their money from offshore countries and was willing to pay the tax rate at 21% than at the 28%. So the most tax revenue the IRS has ever recovered has been since the corporate tax rate has been cut. So you can say tax them all you want to, and I will always tell you this: corporations are always 5 and 10 steps ahead of government. So you raise the tax if you want to, then the company's just going to offshore their money and not bring it back to the United States. So that's what that is. So if they pay less tax rate and then the IRS still receives more revenue, which one is more important? It's the more revenue, not their their percentage of rate. Um, so and then going back, so like I said, it changes the investment thesis. So now with Trump being elected and the stock market going up, Republicans believe in deregulation, getting the government's hand out of stuff. Smaller government that's less of our tax dollars going to pay salaries of government workers. Less regulation means less hurdles that businesses have to jump over and have to pay to become an operation profitable business. Less taxes, that means more money from the business get to be used on growing the business and paying employees instead of paying the government on a percentage basis. So those are the things that's making the stock market go up. One thing you might want to look at, everybody looks at the S&P 500 and they look at the NASDAQ 100 or the NASDAQ in general, index in general. Look at the Russell 2000. That is the small cap companies. Those are the companies with about 50 to about 150 employees. Look how much that's going up since the election happened on Tuesday. It's outpaced both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. Why? Because less regulation for these smaller companies that don't have the market caps of the Apples, the Nvidias, the Metas, the things like that. That's less. That's more capital now that they get to spend on their business. So those are the things that make it work. Those are the things why the stock market is going up, because they are forward thinking. The stock market is a forward looking indicator. So they're looking at, okay, Trump just got reelected again. All of these ideas that he said, if they're implemented, then the valuation of these companies are higher. That's why the number's up there. But is the number real? The number is real long as somebody's paying for it. When people stop paying for it, then it's not real no more. But I mean, I will go, because I've said it and I'm on the record on saying it already, that how the election played out. If Harris was elected as president, I believe that the stock market was going to go down instantaneously. I mean, she already said on TV shows like The View and stuff like that, there's nothing that she would change that President Biden did. She also already said that when the Trump tax cuts run off in 2026, that she was going to let them run off. That means for every individual taxpayer, no matter if you at the lower end of the range or the higher end of the range, you will have to pay more taxes on a less percentage of your income. Only thing you have to do is look it up. Only thing you got to do is look at the tax rate in 2015 and look at the tax rate in 2016, or look at the tax rate in 2025 and look at what the tax rate going to be in 2026. It's higher. That's all it is. It's a higher percentage of your money is taxed at a lower income threshold. And she said she was going to let it run off. And then she said something like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna give a tax cut to the working class family." Okay, so you just gonna say anybody that makes under $70,000 get a tax cut? No. So that's the reality of it, and that's why the stock market is going up, because they see more money going to stand in the businesses, and there won't be a big referendum or more regulation on businesses and things like that. Cryptocurrency went up because, as you know, that Donald Trump is very pro crypto. So I think right now, I just looked at it. Bitcoin is a shade under 80,000 a coin. But those are the things that's going to happen, uh, and that's why the stock market is up.
Yeah, I should have worded myself better when I said if the numbers are real. That's not exactly what I meant. I just meant like, how we see in history with like the dot-com bubble. Like, yeah, those numbers were real, but then panic reset everything. So I didn't know if this was just another bubble. That's kind of more
Uh,
what I was saying.
yeah. Well, the thing was the .com bubble. If you just put the word .com, so you could have had alexmars.com, and you would have got about $100 million valuation, just because the internet was so new and nobody knew what it was. You know,
Yeah,
so that's really what it comes down to. And then on top of that, you get Trump elected on Tuesday, you get the Fed cut the interest rate on Thursday. That's another tailwind for especially the smaller cap stocks.
yeah,
That's not a tailwind to just keep pushing it up. So that those are the contributing factors to things that's going on and why it happened. I mean, now you can get into The price of groceries is the price of groceries. Is Trump going to be able to bring the price of groceries down? Unless he start bringing a lot of manufacturing plants to the U.S. instantaneously, I don't see how the price is going to come down. Will the price not increase at the clip it was for the last 4 years? Highly likely. But a deflationary situation where the prices are just going down on goods and services, I don't see that. I don't see that at all. Could there be a realm or era where with all the tax cuts that he's implementing that businesses are able to pay the employees and the payroll percentages increase? Yeah, but I don't see a problem with the payroll increasing. The problem is not people making more money. The problem is people spending it. If you drive up demand more than supply can provide, prices has to increase. So I'm all great for people having more money, but do something smart with your money. Don't just go spend, 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 because that's what happened during COVID. The prices in goods went up. Of course, we had the supply chain issue, but we also had an overspending issue. People were spending and hoarding all these things, and then the demand outpaced supply. So what happens? The price of goods have to go up to balance out with demand. So if you don't go overspend, and then hey, maybe this time when you get a pay increase, you fully fund up to the employer match on your 401k. How about you take that money and you know invest it in a Roth IRA instead of just going out there buying goods and services? Because if we outpace demand, prices will continue to go up.
That being said, we'll close it out there. If you guys have any questions or comments, let us know down below. Don't forget to like this video, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys on the next one.